Can you hear me all right? Big pole in the la 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 la. Right, hello everyone. Right, let's just wait a few more minutes for everyone to get in. Oh, how are we all tonight? Are we good? Yes, Nathan. Lots to talk about. And make sure everyone leave your comments and let me know all your back alley knowledge about Ipswich Town so far in obviously the summer break. Who will go and leave? Ruby Butcher. Patience. We'll find out any minute now. Do 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 do. Right, should we get started? Otherwise we'll be here all night. So let's start with some mediocre news anyway. So goalkeeper situation. What's everyone thinking so far with regards to that? I mean, obviously Dean Gerk and Bartosz Białkowski both under the cosh at the moment. Will they stay or will they go? Who knows? In my opinion, both of them can go. I'm not really a big fan of Dean Gerken and never have been. To be honest, Bart will definitely go. I think to make funds available for the squad. But in terms of the goalkeeper situation going forward, it looks bleak. We're not going to know who we've got in goal until we actually sell one of them. Well, a rumour has it, word on the street, Dean Gerken is signed for Colchester United. So we won't be taking up his year deal, the option on his contract as far as I'm aware. That still bemuses me why the club hasn't released its retention list. I can't really understand who they're still trying to keep hold of. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I think those who've been injured, maybe give them a chance or let them go. The ones who have played and not really proven their place in the squad surely don't deserve to be here. But yeah, Ben just made a good point there. Harry Wright has got to be number 2 in my opinion, and a number 1 out of either Gerken or Białkowski if either stay. But we're going to have to bring in a goalkeeper for that number 1 spot, I think. But you can't go wrong given Harry Wright a punt in goal in League One next season. I mean, if anything, you're going to put somebody between the sticks. You're not. If we're going by seasons, you know, it doesn't matter whether we had Gianluigi Buffon or Dida in goal this season, we would have conceded the same amount of goals, because it's the 10 players in front of you that stop goals going in, not the goalkeeper, the majority of the time. Now, give Harry Wright a chance, in my opinion. He's got some big boots to fill. Obviously, his dad was a player for Ipswich Town, someone we're all very fond of. But yeah, I do want to know what your opinions are about Gerken and Białkowski. Where do you actually see Bart? Do you see Bart staying at Ipswich Town, or do you want to keep Gerken? I see a few of you there saying we need to keep Gerken. I mean, I can't agree with that, unfortunately. I don't think he's done anything in his 6 years stay at Ipswich Town. The same for Białkowski. He's had one good solid season out of the 4 that he's been in goal, and that was last year. So this year was a year to push on. Didn't start well at all. Obviously, that may have been down to Paul Hurst and Chris Doig and their bullying tactics, but yeah, I'm not on the Gherkin fan train at all. But anyway, let's talk some more football now. Obviously, James Norwood has been heavily linked, and I think it's safe to say he's actually signed on. Now, TWTD came out today and said it's virtually a done deal, and the East Anglian Daily Times are backtracking a bit, saying, oh, he might not, we're in a good position to sign him, but will he sign? Now, a little birdie tells me that he's actually bought a house in Manningtree, so I think that's as far as done when you come to signing for a football club. So James Norwood, Ipswich's new striker. A lot of people drawing comparison from Paul Lambert's time at Norwich and having that talisman striker. Obviously, Grant Holt was phenomenal for Norwich, but never actually did anything in his whole career prior to going to Norwich City. In terms of us getting that kind of striker, that talisman, that person who winds up the away fans, who gives it large. I think Norwood pretty much does that. It ticks all the boxes. But yeah, we see he's even scoring now, and obviously the playoffs are still ongoing in League 2, fighting for that final League 1 spot. But Ipswich Town have never been one of those teams that waits for other teams to finish their business. I mean, look, we took Paul Hurst the day after Shrewsbury lost in the playoff final. The deal is probably done, I would say, in terms of Ipswich Town. But yeah, good striker, good goal scoring rate, and the only thing is I'm unproven in league football, but you'd say this season is pretty much writes all that off. I mean, 32 goals in his first season in league football is pretty good by any standard. But in terms of next year, I saw a number of people drawing comparison between Caden Jackson and Ellis Harrison, between them two, and obviously Norwood coming in. Now, Norwood scored double the goals Caden Jackson scored the season before he joined Ipswich Town, so that just puts into comparison the type of player he is. But I think those three strikers will definitely be important for Ipswich Town next season, going forward. But who knows? There's a number of things we can talk about with regards to strikers and who's who and what's going on. But I want to know a few things that you guys want to talk about. And actually, funny enough, let's talk about the away trip this summer to Germany. Now, there is a bit of inside info about it, where it's going to be. I have heard, I'm not going to mention the towns or the places, but I have heard where the locations it could be. It's going to be it's going to be the friendly, obviously, that they have mentioned, but we will be sharing games against teams on the border of Netherlands and Germany. And I think there's going to be 2 games, something like that. Second game is going to be somewhere in mid-Germany. So just to give you a location-wise of where it's going to be, whereabouts it's going to be, border with Netherlands and Germany, and then into mid-Germany. But that should be a good away trip. I'll be looking forward to that, definitely. Who else is going to be going to Germany? That's what I want to know. Do I know anything about any more player arrivals? Depends. What have you heard? I'm not going to, out myself and tell you what I've heard or what I do know or what people have said, but as far as I'm concerned, James Norwood's are done. I've heard a few whispers about Smollich from Colchester United. Has anyone heard anything about that? Obviously, a competitive midfielder, playing for Colchester, scored quite a few goals. Bluetooth brings up a good one. Willock from Benfica. That isn't going to happen. I can't see that happening at all. Not at all. I think this club's inundated with wingers at the moment, and just to get another one on the books purely because he's from Arsenal, not Ipswich Town anymore, unfortunately. I don't think the club are going to be investing in players that have come from those top clubs. They're going to be on big wages, something we can't afford now, and that's something obviously Leo Neal brought up this week, and said that obviously Mick McCarthy came out and said that the players' wages are going to be sliced by half. I mean, you know, he shouldn't have come out and said that in the first place, but if you put that in comparison of what we were paying, we were looking at paying, you know, on average probably 9-10 grand per player, and then, you know, the bigger players 20-30 grand, you know, 40 at most. But if you're talking 50, 60, 70% drop in wages going down into League One, then we're not going to be competing with any Championship side for any players in the next season. If we look to come straight back up, then I don't know. The model is definitely has to take a battering because of the specific rules that are set to League One and League Two teams. And I think in the first season, you have to adhere to maybe a 60-75% drop in funds to match your earnings as a League One club. So we definitely need to work on that as a club. Obviously, that was highlighted this week. Yeah, still a good wage, better than Waitrose. Love that, Nick. In terms of what else can we talk about? I'm just going to go through the feed now and see what's actually been said in the last few days, just to pick on a few points. Now, obviously, just shout me if there's anything you want to talk about. But this is the 12th Man, a new series from IpswichFanzone. It's going to be obviously talking about. It's going to be a weekly show talking about all things Ipswich Town, all things football, obviously, and obviously the playoffs that are going on at the moment. I mean, it's 1-0 to Leeds. Cool. My dad's going to be buzzing. But yeah, Leeds Villa final. We all envisaged it. Did you really think you'd see West Brom and Derby in the final? To be honest, I think this year Villa have absolutely sailed into the playoff final. Leeds, questionable, 10-11 losses since Christmas. Didn't really look like they were gonna pull up trees, but obviously given the position they were in, turning Christmas time, they were always going to be there and thereabouts. Whether they made it through to the playoff final or not was a completely different question. But you know, this game tonight, 1-0 up against Derby. It's the 4th time they've beaten Derby this season, if that goes through. So. Yeah, good one there, Jamie. So you just brought up Connor Washington. Now that's an interesting one. And as far as going as probably unproven strikers, you probably won't find a better one to look at in terms of you know, League One standard. Now, obviously, he spent time on the books at Peterborough, and that's where he really tore up some trees. He scored a few goals and then moved on, but then obviously found himself at Sheffield United, a team that weren't short of striker options this season. He was brilliant at Peterborough. I agree with that, Blue Tube. But yeah, like you said, he left too early, much like many other strikers that were at Peterborough. I mean, Dwight Gale's one that I can think of off the top of my head. He scored 20 odd goals, was gone within months of signing for Peterborough. Who else? Jack Payne plays at Peterborough. I haven't heard of him for ages. It's just these players, they go in and sign, and then they move on too quickly. Obviously to Peterborough's liking, but don't seem to tear up trees anywhere else. Now that's the kind of thought that I've got for Connor Washington. Is he riding his luck a bit? Is he riding the name that he made at Peterborough in 3, 4, 5 seasons ago, and he's at Sheffield United now, and he's only made a hatful of appearances this season, not scored any goals, not contributed really to any of the performances that Sheffield United have pulled together this season. But it's a difficult one. I wouldn't say he's come to Ipswich Town personally, and I've not heard enough to convince me that he'll be an Ipswich Town player at all. Any more rumours? Throw them at me. Let me have a look at the feed. See what people are saying. Kit launch, by the way. Who wants to know about kit launch? because there's a few things that I think we need to go over. What about Paul Hurst to Scunthorpe as well? Tom Eaves from Gillingham. He's on a free. Now, obviously, I spoke to a Gillingham fan recently on the Control F5 series, and Tom Eaves is a good player. 17 goals last season, 21 goals this year in League One. Big, massive, 6 foot plus. Someone we'd actually really benefit from having in our squad. Very versatile, not someone you could predict where he's going to go, but that's the kind of striker that we need to be looking at as well. Tom Eaves, and a lot of people are saying we need 2 strikers. Yeah, we sign obviously Norwood, but do you sign another one as well? You know, because the likelihood is that we lose Will Keane purely because he's injury prone, and he can't really. It's not going to be pulling out a whole season's worth of games and scoring a lot. To be fair, I would like to see Will Keane sign, but the injuries have really put me off him recently. Colin Quainar's obviously gone back, but Tom Eaves, that's a really good one. He could definitely do something for Ipswich Town. Who else? I see that they've confirmed the open day to meet all the players and managers. Obviously, if you haven't met Paul Lambert just yet, Thursday 25th July, free entry for everyone, and you can meet the players obviously there and then. 3 clubs linked with Bielkowski again. Birmingham, I've heard have launched a £3 million bid, but nothing's been said about that yet. That'll be interested to see the club's retention list, because I'm sure there'll be a few surprises on the transfer list going into the start of the season. Did anyone see that Town were in the top 20 all-time best clubs in the last 50 years? And obviously Norwich found their place right below us once again. Academy to remain Category 2. What are we thinking about that then? Because I saw Bluetooth mention there about Flores, who went to Arsenal and had the option of going to Barcelona. We've got some talented players in our youth academy, but unfortunately we've not got the facilities or the money, in my opinion, that's my opinion, to go Category 1 at this moment in time. Now, I see them pushing for Category 1, yeah, which is fair, it's fine, but do we have the money, the staff, the time and the facilities to become Category 1 full time and maintain it? Because that's the one thing that worries me. Now, you see Norwich, I'm sure you'll all be aware, but Norwich City operate a lot of academy programs in the Ipswich area. Virtually every school in Ipswich has a Norwich academy linked to it. You'll be very lucky to see us challenging them in those areas, because they are Category 1. They can set up anywhere they want in the country and lure local players in there. And you know, basically, if you bring in those players, you offer them a good, you know, it's just a badge really. If you're putting yourself out there and you've got a badge, I mean, Norwich are now again a Premier League side. They could walk anywhere, and it's the same for Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool, Tottenham, all the Premier League clubs. Wherever you go, your kids or your friends, they're going to be interested in joining these bigger clubs, and there's unfortunately nothing we can do about that. So we need to make ourselves more attractive as a club, and obviously going forward, that can only be affected by what we do on the pitch now. Next season's a big one, but obviously Leo Neal came out and said about the upkeep of the stadium as well. A big thing for a lot of people. The stadium has not been maintained, or it's been maintained, that's a lie obviously, but it's not been updated or maybe upgraded for a long time, and it's drawn a lot of comments from fans. I know there's a number of fans that are trying to offer their help on a regular basis, to do some odd painting jobs here, the sand in there, making it look a bit nicer, more attractive. But obviously the big thing is that you've got all that moss on the north stand, you've got broken signs on the south stand, the Sir Ralph upper, and it's not attractive really, is it? We go down to Portman Road, but probably with rose tinted glasses, we don't actually see the stadium for what it is on a day-to-day basis. And if someone comes down here, the image of the club is damaged by that person's opinion, and it's easy to get your opinion out there straight away. But Lee O'Neill's come out and said that in the next 18-24 months the club are going to look into that, and that's really definitely a work in progress. Obviously, if we do get promoted from League One and we do well in the Championship, this is all ifs, but if those things do happen, then we can only benefit as a club. So Bluetooth said that food and drink is overpriced at Portman Road. What are we thinking about that? We need to do well early in the season, maintain high quality attendance. Now, obviously, uptaking season tickets was exactly what they wanted, not just over 12,000, but just under. As a club, they've met their target. They were probably looking at hitting 11,000. They've done that comfortably. What that does is that ensures that probably one of the highest attendance in League One consistently next season, just by having those 11,000 people through the door. In terms of match day ticket pricing, I think they've got that right. So we could possibly looking at maybe 16,000 regular attendance next season. If we do well, that can obviously push to 17, 18, 19, possibly even 20. But it's a big ask to get more than 20 in there for a League One game next season. Who do we want to go up? Sunderland, Pompey, Charlton. Who's the other one? I forget there. Can't remember. But out of those, obviously I don't want to see Sunderland or Pompey next season. Two very good sides. Pompey for the pure fact that they've got Matt Clark running things at the back, and I just couldn't see that. One player we let go too early again. McCarthy was absolutely shoddy decision making, letting players go for absolute peanuts, replacing them with absolute, injury prone snobs that just don't play for the club, never love the club, never even aspirated to get on with the fans. They're just selfish players, sorry. And Adam Webster was one of those. Went straight away. Waghorn, another one. Regardless of what was said in the press, they didn't think twice about leaving Ipswich Town, and they could have stayed behind. They had good seasons, but there you go. Let's not be better anyway. Anything else on here tonight? Obviously, this will be a weekly programme, so make sure you stay tuned. Obviously, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe, like, share. If you can like now and give me as many likes as possible, I'll be over the moon. Someone mentioned about Blue Action. Any plans for next season? I will not ruin that. So, plenty to look forward to, guys, but stick with them. And make sure you participate as well. The best thing to do is obviously get involved. Make it easy for Blue Action to do their bits and pieces, and the displays, make it look 10 times better than it is. And obviously, Bluetooth in section 6, big step for you, mate, big step for you. But I want to pose one question, and it's right back for me. Right back next season is something that I'm worrying about. Now, obviously, we're not in a million years would we keep Jordan Spence, especially after that outfit he wore at the Aladdin premiere with his wife. But Jordan Spence is not the right back we're going to keep. You'd probably say Emmanuel is our number one choice, purely based on he will be the only right back, essentially, at the club. Barry Cotter is not going to make it into the first team next season, I wouldn't say. He's had a good season at under 23 level, but he hasn't been given a sniff in the squad yet, which is bemusing. I can't see Wolfenden playing right back. Centre back is definitely his position next season, and I think he'll be challenging Chambers for that berth, to be fair. That's definitely what he's got to do. But, Will, just to correct you there, Luca Vega's actually left and signed for Charlton, unfortunately. But I want to pick on one, and we have a very talented right back in our ranks, and it's Dylan Crowe. Now Dylan Crowe is playing for England under 18s. He's represented England at under 16, under 17 level. He's played in, I think it was the European Cup, or may even been the World Cup at those levels. Definitely a player that we need to get into our squad at League One level, purely because of the interest that he's receiving as an 18-year-old. I mean, Arsenal have been interested for a long time, as far as I'm aware, and obviously with the, like we said earlier, with the Flores link, that Flores was gone. Ben Knight's another one, went to Man City. Who's the one that went to Chelsea? And he's pulling up trees. He's scoring goals. Ipswich Town player, and he's gone to Chelsea. And he's Charlie Brown. That's the one. Charlie Brown is absolutely murking Chelsea. It's just scoring goals week in, week out from midfield, and these are players that could have been the future of Ipswich Town, but only because we can't keep those players. For one reason, we're not Category 1. The other reason, we can't offer the money that they're being offered. And, another reason is it's just not attractive to stay at Ipswich Town at this moment in time. So we need to be more attractive. We need to offer players games. Look at the players that come through in the last year. You look at Flynn Downs, for God's sake. Flynn Downs has come on leaps and bounds. That game against Leeds, I've never seen him play like that. It was brilliant. Could have even said the same for Dazelle. Up until against Leeds the other day, I didn't really think that Dazelle was going to be staying at Ipswich Town, personally, beyond this season. But he really showed me what he could do on the ball, and I was really impressed with him. Lancaster, obviously, absolutely brilliant on the wing. Love to see him get back into the squad. El Mazzuni's come through. Tristan Nydam had a very good game against Brentford when he came on. Haven't seen much of him. Emmanuel's played well. Kenlock's been absolutely fantastic when he's come in. Had a few shaky times, but I think he needs to be considered as a first choice left back, given that he's been given that opportunity now and he's taken it. But we need to give him that confidence to push forward. So apart from that, hold on, I've just got a message from Lewis that I want to have a look at, because I just need to read that. What did he say? Lewis, we can't get them players. Money talks, and these young lads have dreams, and that's the Prem. Yeah, you're right, mate. You're right. It is the Prem, mate. And as soon as a big club comes in for them, they're gone. See, Bluetooth, we're talking 10, 20 years now, mate, because we've not produced really anything that has gone out of the club and torn up trees. Connor Wickham, maybe the last prodigy that's come out of the academy, and it's not really done anything. Injury prone. He could have done with a few more years at Ipswich, to be fair. But we may be in, obviously, the building part of those future players. I mean, Flynn Downs is 19, 20. Emmanuel 19, Dazelle 19, 20. They're all right at the start of their careers. The one that's the really important one for me next season, who I think can have an absolutely terrific season, the one that does need to perform, is Teddy Bishop. That is a massive, massive season for Teddy Bishop next season. He needs to prove that he's not only good enough as a championship player, but he can walk League One, and I think he can do it. I'm sure you'll all agree, you've seen parts of Teddy Bishop that's been absolutely brilliant this season, absolutely brilliant. And dare I say it, probably one of our most important players next season, and I'd definitely put him up there as a starter. Another one for me, John Nolan, he's brilliant. He was the minute he came in, but it takes a lot of time for fans to appreciate a good player. He knows where to put the ball, he knows what to do with it. He just needs someone to aim at now, and I think that's what we've struggled with this season. Gwion Edwards will keep hold of him in the summer. Some would argue not quite championship quality, but on his day he can be absolutely ferocious on that right hand side. So that's another one. Toto Encialo's got to start every game next season. 100% starter at centre back. And just in there you've got a solid unit. You've got Alan Judge as well, who's, we're hoping Judgy tears up trees, because maybe I'll pick up on that one in a minute, Harvey. Maybe he's not done enough as yet in an Ipswich Town shirt, and that could be down to, you know, not many consistent games or minutes with Brentford prior to joining town. And it takes 10 or 11 games to get used to playing with the guys you're playing with. So, to be fair, what can you do? But next season's a clean slate for everyone, and I think we can start well. One last thing, Christian Doige, I think it is, from Forest Green Rovers, obviously knocked out by Tranmere last night in the League 2 playoffs. Is he the kind of player we want to go for? I don't know. I really don't know. The link is a good one. Whether or not Ipswich Town were going for him, I don't know. But he stayed on at Forest Green, didn't he, today? So we'd have to pay a fee for him. I don't think we're in the fees market once again. We'll be looking for all those players that are out of contract, and there's a plethora of players out there this year that haven't signed contracts, and we can sign on a free on the dotted line and offer them competitive wages. I mean, if you're not paying fees to buy players, you can offer it to them in wages. So in that sense, we probably are, you know, winning in some senses. Norwood, absolutely fantastic signing, and to be fair, I'm never shaving my beard off, Alex, so get that out of your mind, mate. And I'll beat you round 2 of the quiz as well, mate. Norwood, great signing, but we need another striker, in my opinion. So leave your comments below. Obviously, that's the end of episode 1 of the 12th Man, and you are the 12th man. So thank you for joining in tonight. Obviously, look out for it next week as well. I'll share it on the socials. But in the meantime, make sure you subscribe, like, and share where possible. Leave your comments on anything that's been said today. You can watch this back. It should be available in the next couple of hours. But in the meantime, you know, share the love. Make sure you let me know about any Ipswich Town news, and we can talk about that next week.